Tax season is officially upon us. I've compiled a few of my TikTok videos to advise you to not use the big tax prep companies, why they suck, and some free alternatives. I'm going to be compiling more tax videos that I had posted on TikTok just to make it easier for you guys to reference. There'll be lots of good information about your tax returns and little tips and tricks. Make sure you keep an eye out for those in addition to my story times that are coming. And let me know what other kinds of content you guys want. I'm here to create content for you guys, so let me know what you're interested to see. After my video about the delayed stimulus checks went viral, I received several requests to make a series on why tax prep firms like H&R Block and TurboTax are so predatory and what alternatives there are. Disclaimer, I am not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax preparer, I've never worked for any of these companies, I've never worked for the IRS, I have no affiliation with any of it. I'm just a research nerd that likes to show off the information that I learned and advocate for the disenfranchised. This series will be several parts. The last part will include alternatives to tax preparation besides the big companies like H&R Block, TurboTax, Jackson Hewitt, etc. So make sure you're following me for all that information, as well as updates for stimulus round 3. I will be closely monitoring that as well. If you enjoy this series, I hope you get a lot out of it, and let me know if you have any questions. Reason number 1 why they suck. They disproportionately target low-income communities. In low-income neighborhoods from around January to April, you will see lots of H&R Block, TurboTax, Liberty Tax, etc. storefronts pop up all over the place. Pop up in strip malls, Walmarts, next to check cashing stores, places like that. They're much more highly concentrated in low-income neighborhoods rather than wealthier suburban neighborhoods. They lure people in with low or no cost filing, no appointments necessary, and perks like refund advances or getting your filing fees taken out of your refund. It sounds like a good deal on the surface, but there's always a catch. For example, with the refund advances, a lot of the big companies offer those for free, as in they don't charge you any interest or fees on the loan itself. But in order to apply for it, you have to have your taxes done in the store by a professional, which costs anywhere from $100 and up. Likely could do free file on their website at home. Prey on people that are desperate and don't have a lot of options. Why TurboTax and H&R Block suck? Reason number 2. They upcharge you to hell and they mislead their customers about the fees and costs. Both companies have the option to have your filing fee deducted from your refund instead of paying for it up front. The additional fee for this is about $40 with each company. That's in addition to whatever your filing fees are. But they don't tell you that that $40 will be waived if you just pay for the filing fees up front instead of having it taken out of your refund. TurboTax calls it a refund processing fee, which is a very ambiguous term that is specifically meant to confuse customers. Most people just think it's part of the filing fee. H&R Block advertises that the service is no out-of-pocket costs, which if it's coming from your refund, I think that is out-of-pocket, even if it's not in your pocket yet. Both companies advertise that their refund advance loans are interest-free with no additional cost. But they don't tell you that in order to do that, you have to have your taxes done by one of their tax preparers, which could cost over $100 more than if you did it yourself at home. Why TurboTax and H&R Block suck? Reason number 3, corporate lobbying. Taxes really don't have to be this complicated, and in most of the developed world, they aren't. Many governments just take care of the taxes themselves. They have a finance division that will figure it all out for you and then either send you a check or send you a bill at the end of the year. I know it sounds overly simple, but seriously, that's how most of the world does it. And there's actually been bipartisan support for implementing this kind of system in the United States since the 80s. But mammoth companies like H&R Block and TurboTax spend millions and millions of dollars a year lobbying Congress to prevent such a thing from happening, because it obviously affects their bottom line. Not only do they prevent politicians from implementing a universal tax filing system, but they also use this political clout to make taxes seem a lot more complicated than they actually are, both to the government and to civilians. The more they muddy the waters, the less any of us wants to deal with it. Don't forget to check out my other video on corporate lobbyism in America and how it's destroying our democracy. In conclusion, these tax prep companies target the vulnerable population and misconstrue and mislead us into paying more money for services that we either don't need or really shouldn't be that expensive. Then they turn around, take the profits they made off of us, use that money to dissuade politicians from implementing a government-sponsored universal filing system to make all of our lives easier. But there is some good news. Part of the deal that these companies struck with the government was that they had to co-sponsor a free filing system for low-income Americans. The definition of low income varies depending on what company you're going with, but according to the IRS, it's anybody making less than $66,000 a year. After battling several lawsuits, both TurboTax and H&R Block have made that free filing option extremely apparent and easy to access on their website. Check out part 4 to see a screen recording and some other alternatives. I've done several videos bitching about both tax preparers and the IRS. But tax season is here, so what do? What are the options? The IRS has this really neat tool on their website that will help you find a free filing program that's perfect for your situation. Google IRS free file tool or go directly to this link. Free file online options. It'll give you two options. One, you can browse all the programs, which is what I'm doing here. Those are all different companies that support this program. So it's not the IRS itself, they partnered up with them. So you can either browse all of them or you can use the tool to put in some basic filing information about yourself, and then it'll suggest which programs will be best. Personally, I used Free Tax USA this year and I really liked that program. Make sure you check out my next video, which is more of a story time. It's why I am so passionate about consumer advocacy and I get so pissed off at these shitty corporate companies that take advantage of people. Let's just say I've been around the block, kind of had a hard knock life, and I learned the hard way. So if I can help other people and prevent them from spending hundreds of dollars a year like I did for so long, then that's really what my main goal here is.